Wait, let the lady of the house get settled. She's busy trying to be the hostess with the mostest, which you're very much succeeding at. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining
Barbara,
us
thank
tonight.
you for opening up your home to all of us and putting all this together and the gathering. So I'd love to have you folks get to know me a lot better, to ask me questions, and to share with me what you want and what your needs are, and what's going to create the best quality of life for you to live here. Maui is no ka'oi, and I aim to keep it that way, and actually we can always improve upon what we have every day. So I'd love to bring you folks along on this journey that I feel I'm on to create a better future for all of us. So with that, I just want to thank you all for being here and taking the time out of your busy schedules and day to visit.
What do you feel like are some of our most serious things that we're facing as a county?
Definitely our housing. We have a housing crisis, whether people want to admit this or face it or not, because I'm wondering, where is this housing department currently? How are they addressing it? I mean, I definitely will be taking it 100 billion times more serious. And I know there are solutions. So it's the housing crisis. It's also redefining, or actually stating what truly is affordable for our people. And my office has found research that the HUD, the federal guidelines, we are $10,000 below that number, that figure, due to our cost of living, our income levels, and things of that nature. I mean, the list goes on and on, but the fast track process for these supposed affordable housing developments, these projects, which utilize, yes, a fast track process, which utilize a lot of, they get tax exemptions, they get, permit waived, they get a lot of waivers and savings in doing these developments, because they're going to build at least 51% affordable for the people, which, one, we need to redefine that word affordable. Two, it ends up really equating to just a handful, like maybe 5 or 6 or 8 homes that really are affordable. And then after 5, 8, 10 years later, they flip into the market rate. So now those homes which were supposedly affordable are now market, and we are left with 0 affordable homes. Well, how are we ever going to get ahead of the curve, ahead of the ball of affordable housing, if this process, this practice is going to continue? So I am about affordable in perpetuity. And people freak out about the word perpetuity. So we're saying managed depreciation. I understand people want to, put money into a home for their family, and it's a huge investment. It's probably one of the biggest investments in a person's life. And should they one day want to sell it, of course they want to make their money out of it, but we need to have 2 kinds of inventory of housing. We need to have that affordable bracket where people raise families and they can sell it get their money back, yes, make a little bit of income, let the next affordable family move into it, and so on. And then you have this other bracket of properties, the investment inventory of properties, where people can come and invest, and then, they want to flip it into double, quadruple their money, then fine. That's this other bracket, investment type properties. But we have to start that inventory of the affordable. And affordable, I mean, I want 2 to 3, 4 different families being able to live in that home, as the years progress. Not flip out of affordable, boom, never to be seen as affordable again. That is what we need to stop. So that concept has never been implemented here. That's definitely one thing I am going to start putting into practice and make sure we have, because our families, I'm tired. I am heartbroken, I'm tired, and I will not hear another person, another family say, I need to move away, Ellie, because I can't afford to live here. I cannot afford. That is wrong. We cannot have our local families saying they can't afford and pack up and go. Families that I grew up, we went to grade school together, we went to high school together, and then their kids are now saying can't come back from college, can't come back from wherever they went to get, to create a career path for themselves. There's no job here for them. There's nothing to afford, so they have to live away. And they want to grow up and live the way they were raised, and here in Hawaii and in our culture and everything, and they just can't afford it. Well, that needs to stop. That's right. That's right. So housing is definitely huge on the list, for sure. Yeah.
So I've got a question.
Thank you.
I would think you need to have a coalition on the city council or the county council to be able to implement this kind of a thing, because, I mean, can we win the county council with enough majority on your side to implement anything?
Yes, the answer is definitely yes, yes,
Who are
yes.
the people?
Well, first off, yes, because everybody's going to turn out and vote. And yes, because people are ready for change, and we have a great slate of candidates this year. It's never been seen. We have 4 open seats on the county council. And we are guaranteed going to have new faces. I mean, whether, some people like it or not, we're going to have 4 new people. And those seats there, as I mentioned, are going to have a great slate of candidates. And I know the Ohana candidate, they're going to be printing out a flyer, a card, or something of that sort to explain who's been endorsed by the group. I'm their endorsement for mayor. Yay, thank you.
Okay.
And so my name will be plugged out there for that seat. And my vision and my description is this picture of your mayor getting along and working hand in hand with the 9 council members, and we working together for all of you and working together for all the great things that I've been talking about, hand in hand together. I mean, whoa, that's such a concept that no one's ever seen here. Instead of working against each other, instead of people working, for what's in it for them only, or for their special interest, for the people who put all this funding on their campaigns or what have you. So there's a lot of people on the as candidates who, and please keep track of who puts funds on all of our campaigns, and you will be able to see who truly is for the people, who's truly the grassroots candidates. And but the grassroots candidates need a lot of help from the community, need a lot of volunteers, because we don't have the money and the funding, but again, that's what creates that feel of unity, ohana, right? And everybody walking together, paddling that same canoe in that same direction, and things like that. So I totally foresee that. Very good, yes.
Would the county of Maui or the state of Hawaii be able to organize the funds to purchase these lands from this King company? Could they do it for the public trust?
Of course.
That kind of potential?
Well, number
Because
one,
that's one possibility.
Yeah.
Or private trusts and private individuals that put the land in agricultural trusts. But somebody needs to own it that can manage it in a responsible way and get it out of the hands of the profit-making corporations.
yeah.
Somebody needs to do that.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, but number one, you have to have a willing landowner. That's always been the issue over in where I live. If the landowner wants to hold on to this land and not sell it, you have to have a willing landowner. And most of this land, they have a plan for it. And it's not for us guys to go and grow some great things. It's about development. That's what it's about. It's their biggest, they're really a real estate company. They're not an ag company.
It's the highest bidder.
That's right. So unless you have a willing landowner to want to, support the dream and the things you're talking about, it's not going to happen. I mean, and that's what it boils down to. I think Bill didn't have a question.
We came very close to getting it on the ballot.
Right.
Which was the declaration of eminent domain
Yeah.
for the purpose of self-sustainability for our island. We came somewhere within, I think, 100 signatures to put that on the ballot. Declaring eminent domain is the only way. They wouldn't willingly give over their rights, but if you declare eminent domain and declare the purpose being sustainability or self-sufficiency, it would be it could become a different issue. So maybe we could try it again to try to get the extra 100 signatures that we didn't have last time.
Yeah.
Because the bill is written, it's already been devised, all we need to do is get the right number of signatures. Sorry for interrupting, Bill.
Right. Sorry, Bill, you had your hand up.
So I have a question, which is, could we do something with either with zoning or with property taxation policy to let the landowners keep their deeds, their fake deeds or whatever, if they wish, but only if they use the land in ways, it's zoned agricultural. That means you're growing food, you're not doing anything else. It's only can be used for growing food. Or the taxation rate is such that if you're growing food, it's taxed at one rate, and if you're not, it's taxed as though it were whatever they want it to be. They have these commercial development aspirations. Well, if they had to pay real property taxes on that, it might change their tactics or their actions.
Right. And when I came back from Korea, the ag, that they pushed ag, and if you had ag lands and it wasn't an ags, yeah, you paid a lot higher tax rates. So not that they wanted you to pave it over with something, but your ag, it was supposed to be an ag. And so when you do that, you get of course a tax break, but if you're not, then they're going to push you into doing ag, which is what you have the land for anyways. So yeah, there's a way. We need to just change our structure, and yeah, zoning is a huge thing right now. We do not abide by the zoning, what the actual zoning is. We give special conditional use permits. We change district boundary amendments from our general plan. We change in zonings. We give blah, blah, blah. I mean, most of the time I'm not in favor because of that fact. We're taking lands that are zone ag, things that not open space, but ag, things that we need to preserve and protect, instead of flipping it into a, residential. But then again, that goes into, is it really going to be affordable, and for how long? And it just leads us down these other rabbit holes, which I think in the end, the community in the future do not benefit from. It's the company that reaps the profits and everything, and we sit back sitting with all the negative impacts of it all.
But are those tools that would be available to the county if we had a council that actually
Totally.
had a mayor that were concerned?
Very much so. Oh yeah, and it is, a lot of things are political will. Right now that will is not there. We need to get the people in who will have this political will that we're all talking about, and it can happen for sure. Oh yeah, big time.
It'll happen fast.
So what about the situation, I have nothing against people that have worked hard and they've earned their money, but then they buy some real estate, a large amount of real estate, they build a really fancy property on it, and as what Bill was saying about, they'll grow some fruit trees, or they have some fruit trees, they'll have a bit of land, small amount of land that produces some fruit and veg, that then goes to market and then is deemed some kind of farm. But they're not really doing it, it's to actually get the tax break. How does that stop? Because it's happening everywhere, especially in Lahaina.
Right, yeah, those are like the gentleman farms that everyone talks about. Right, so like in Kapalua, they grow pine trees. Like, what? You're gonna have a forest of pine,
So how can the
wood?
council, the government, say the government,
That's enforcement, yes, and that's enforcement, and that is a farm plot plan. So I completely, agree that these should have never been, and it's happening a lot out here. I believe in Haiku. It's rampant in Launiupoko, which you're talking about, I believe, right? And so,
without the 3 swimming pools and all
and they have a couple papaya trees in their roundabout driveway, and that's their farm, Wrong, hello. And they're doing weddings and short-term rentals and on, and that's never what that ever was supposed to be. And so I completely don't agree, and that's a sad situation that had happened, and I'm here to make sure that we don't continue that. It cannot be anymore. I mean, enough is enough of that. And we need to have I want true families on land who are farming, who want to farm, and we have co-ops and we feed each other, and you grow a bunch of this and you grow a bunch of that, and we all share, and you know, whatever, we can barter, we can share the fruits of our labor with one another and not have to depend on the barges and stuff shipped in from other countries. And you know, let's take care of ourselves, and we have the means. Again, we have the resources to make it happen, but we have to have that political will and the people. And I want families back on the lands, and I want families to be able to, and not everybody wants to be farmers, I get it. So you know what, we have condos, and we have, I mean, you don't have to be, but there's many people who do and don't have the opportunity or the land to do it. And those are the ones, and I think once people understand what it's about, I mean, look at the School Garden Network has gone into 32 plus schools, I think, by now. And the kids love the growing. They go, oh, look, we grew the bean and we eat the bean, and now we plant the bean seed and it grows. I mean, wow, I remember when I first learned that a plant grew out of a seed, you know, in school. And it was like so exciting. And I think, you know, we need to reconnect, especially our younger generation, but everyone who wants to should have that opportunity. And it shouldn't be a special thing, or it shouldn't be exploited either, the way it has been, under the guise of a farm plan or a farm. And then you get the ag benefits and stuff. Well, they need to be paying their fair share of the taxation. If you're gonna be a fake farm per se, then you don't get the farming ag rate discount on your taxation.
How does one prove? Is there a formula? I know we have egg water because we grow all this stuff, and I have all these receipts from all year of the health food stores. Do they have a dollar amount? I mean, is there a way to police that? You have to, I mean, you have to prove it to the water department. Why don't you have to prove it?
That's the thing too. Everyone works in their silos at the county. Nobody pays it. The planning department doesn't talk to the water department. The water department isn't, you know what I mean? The taxation guy isn't talking to the planning guy when something changes into a higher zoning. Real property tax needs to know. You need to start taxing them higher. They got bumped out of ag into you know, residential or commercial or industrial, whatever. And it's like, who tells who what around here? And there's a lot of disconnect. So yeah, that's some other things that need to be addressed and looked into for sure. I stay very focused on what I need to do and my job. And I think my council job in every day is a per se campaign of sorts. I mean, my actions is what I feel people can base their decision on. It's not about how many signs I have or, you know, how nicely I dress or something. I think it's about the actions and the things I accomplish through my job as a council member so far is the message, and I think the confidence and hopefully the vote and trust in me. So, yes.
Can you say something about your involvement in the agricultural situation on the island with A and B and the land that's available and where it's going to go? And can you have an impact on the eco-farming or the affordable housing community that would like to be set up?
Yeah, so currently as a council member, no, not so much. I think as a mayor, then that's when then you can sit at the negotiation table with landowners in order to purchase. You know, we can do acquisitions for lands for those purposes, as you say. I believe, yeah, we need food sovereignty. We need our food security. All this land should be in agriculture. Why does this company still have all the rights to millions of gallons of water from all of our streams if they're not growing? They claim some of the land is and ranching and things, but you know what? That's not enough. You need to give back all that water to all our respective streams and call farmers and kuleanas, and quit hoarding it and quit putting it towards business parks and office spaces and big box stores and you know, it's time to. I want the land to go back to the rightful heirs. That's our Kanakamole. That is who it needs to go back to. The deeds. I was just in my office today asking our Department of Finance for some deeds. I wanted to see deeds, and they said they were giving me the runaround and pointing me to someone else. I'm like, I am the council member here, and you need to give. I need these deeds. Why do you not have it? That's not. No, it is public record, and they're sending me on links on this computer screen, and I was like, oh my god. So anyhow, these are the kind of things where I will get to the bottom of. Because it's the right thing to do, and it's time, and I need to get into this position in order to make it happen. But yes, for ag, yes, to get people back on the land, to start farming, to creating food sustainability, we got to stop relying on the outside world. We have all the makings right here in our islands for everything from renewable energies, wind, rain, wave, sun. We have it all. I'll leave geothermal off the table right now. But, you know, I mean, we have it. And we should be the role model for, I believe we are going to be the role model for the rest of the world. And people are going to come here to learn our practices, to take back home to where they're from. And us to stop seeking outside. Our ancestors, this is what they did. They were totally sustainable. The travelers of the world came here to replenish from us. Water, food, sustenance, you know, but yet now we're beholden to barges? No, it's all backwards right now. So those are the things I want to bring back. And the sad part is that we have a couple main landowners here. And I use the word very lightly because I don't truly believe they own what they say they own. And it will need to be proven though. And we need to get the pala, we need to get the paperwork in place to truly vet out the true ownership of the lands. And the public trust doctrine states that water is not owned by anybody. It's not owned by anybody. It's ours, it's the public's, it's the people's. So, you know, those are kind of some, yeah. That's my passion about that. Did you have any questions? Yes, oh hi.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I am curious what maybe changes or philosophies you have in regards to how the companies here, say like even the big hotels that obviously generate a lot of income, what platform you would have for how they could actually give more back to the community.
Well, good, thank you. And during this budget, what I was trying to do, and Kelly King and others, we were trying to get some of the funding that we give them every year, about $4.2 million, to market Maui, to sell Maui, to get people to come here. I feel like we have more than enough people coming to visit, 2.5 million per year. And now it's time to educate, to make them more culturally sensitive to, you know, our needs and to our quality of life, whether it's the highways, the beaches, the hiking trails, the wherever, and to keep ourselves safe, but also themselves. I mean, every day I pick up the paper and I see someone drowned here, or someone got knocked down by the blowhole over there, or fell off a cliff here. I mean, it's just nonstop. And I think that's partly, you know, we need to educate and make sure that when people come here, they understand, please don't step on the reef, don't feed the fish, use reef safe sunscreen, but I mean, the list goes on and on. So I think that's the kuleana of the business, who brings people here to visit, to be educated and to make sure that they venture into our world, into our home, our backyards and front yards, and are respectful and are understanding and are being aware and taught the proper etiquette, the proper protocols. And you know what? My husband has a surf shop, so he gives that spiel. Please don't step on the reef and blah, blah, blah. But not all do. So but if every one of us did our part this way, it would make the visit on either side much more pleasant and, you know, productive. The visitors, a lot of them don't turn your back on the waves. They never grew up along an ocean. They don't know that the North Shores, the waves are going to be big and they get knocked off the cliff sides on the rocky ledge. I mean, they don't understand these things. That's just common knowledge to us that are from here. And, you know, flash floods, rain, black dirt water up there is going to come gushing down here, so don't go and play in the stream right now. Things like that, they don't get it, but when they're being taught, and they feel so grateful They never knew. It's not like they purposely wanted to hurt somebody or get hurt. They just didn't understand that these are the signs. These are the things that you learn by being ma'a to the place. And that to me is the responsibility of our tourism industry, the hotels, or anybody who interacts with our visitors. You know, and it's a growing trend, and volunteerism. I think it's beautiful that I had Kyle Ellison on a talk show that I hosted the other day on Akaku. Akaku is a great venue, which George is here. We'll be probably posting this on Akaku. And he does a guidebook, but this guidebook isn't just to show you the deep hidden secrets of the island. You know, it's about how to be positive, you know, how to do a healthy interaction with things, right? And then also volunteerism. I think many people, people want to feel good about why they visited somewhere. People want to learn, yes, but they also want to take home something, and most people want to give back. They don't want to just keep taking, and so beach cleanups, you know, going up and pulling invasive species in the forest or something. There's so many kanaha cleanup, and there's so many there's so many people out here that are seeking help, and as they get hands-on, they're learning too, and they're connecting with our aina, and they're learning about our culture at the same time. And I think that's wonderful. That's the special touch. I think that's what makes us unique, and why people would come back and would love to spread the word, perpetuate why we all love Maui and why we choose to live here and why Maui is no ko'oi. So as a council member for 4 terms later, I have been the top vote getter. And it is a countywide race, so I'm not just a district race, I am countywide. Now I'm moving into a different level of government, and I'm banking on that. The people who voted for me in the council races, hopefully, and are going to vote for me into the mayoral race, and then some. As I'm reaching out and getting to know more and more people, I'm feeling very strong about that. And I am the only grassroots candidate. I broke the mold. No one else got into politics the way I have, and I don't even like to use that word, but people look at me and go, how they've never seen anybody like me get into this. I didn't vote before I ran for office. I didn't even know what a council member was. You know, I was a surfer, but I knew that the voice of the surfers, for one thing, was not being represented. And then I guess I found out there was a whole lot of other voices out there weren't being represented. And I brought it to the table. So I think till today, I've continued to have that influence, that support from that demographic. And it seems to be growing. You know, I see so many more people stepping up. I can't count how many times people have come up to me and said, because of you, Ellie, it's the first time I registered to vote. And these are even your reinstated Hawaiian government people. These are even people who lost total confidence and you know, anything in government at all, because we were overthrown at one time, and this government is not their government, and never will be. They never want it to be, but they feel like they learn that they have to have a voice at that table, and they feel like I am their voice, and they're going to support me to get there, to be their voice, which really, you know, touches me a lot on a deeper level, because that's the demographic. We need to wake up the complacent people who are apathetic, who just don't even give a hoot about this because they feel like they aren't being heard. But I listen, and I'm not. And the big money doesn't grab a hold of me. That's not how I got in. That's how I continue to not do that. Of course, I have to represent everybody. Whether you're a corporation, whether you're the homeless guy down in the dirt, whether you're, you know, whatever it is, from all walks of life, I am here for that person. And I reach out and I speak to them all, you know. And so a lot of them refuse to speak to me, and that's fine, but my door is always open. And so I'm here. But typically, yeah, unfortunately, the unions don't come knocking on my door. The A&Bs of the world, they don't come knocking on my door. But, you know, like I was asked, would I be open to speaking to the landowners? Of course, always open, you know, but they choose not to because, you know, and again, a lot of our developers, though, We may not see eye to eye, but at least they know where they stand with me. Because I am what you know, I am what you see. I tell it like it is, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to tell you just what you want to hear. I'm telling the truth. I'm speaking from the heart, and I'm what you see is what you get. And so if you like what you see, then vote for me. And not the anti-growth, and not the anti. I'm pro smart growth. I'm pro good development, and there's a time, place, and a good place and time for those. And there's good development. There's bad development. Sorry, there's development that are going to be environmentally harmful. There's development that are going to pump sewage into the ground and seep out into our oceans. There's development that don't have enough water resources and that are going to take from others wrongfully and unfairly. There's, the list kind of goes on and on. But I mean, there's good things we can all do here. And so I don't ever believe I'm anti. It's just, why are we presented with really bad plans? Why are we presented with really bad areas that they want to put our low income people or what supposed affordable places in? Why is that always the case? And why are the prime areas and the beautiful vista viewed lands for the high end people? I mean, really? So it's not about I'm the anti person every time. I'm for good things. I'm for our culture. I'm for our natural resources and our future. And that's, I believe, I focus on the positive, I focus on the good, and I focus on what I'm for. So people can, and you know what, George? Thank you for the question, because there's always going to be naysayers. And I cannot waste my time and energy on naysayers, because they'll never change their mind. They will always be anti-LE too. So you know what? That's fine. We agree to disagree. At least we know where we stand with each other, and I move forward on the points and times, if we can, on the positive stuff towards the common goals that we all want for this community. So that's how I always put it when I have people going, well, you don't see eye to eye with Bug, you're anti. And you know what? And that may rightfully be always, but at least let's set aside the differences and let's move forward with the things we can agree on. So.
We have a forum coming up at the Haiku Community
see.
Center on June 20th.
Okay, I mark my calendar. But I mean, people like the Haiku community, I'm sure Kihei Community Association will, the Kula community, these are really tight-knit, well-organized associations, and typically they will have your panel debate type discussions with all the candidates from all the different seats, and it's really awesome. Because that's where you get to hear people and really hear and see what they're made out of, and also, see what side they're on, right? And I think, I'm one who jumps headfirst into the most controversial thing possible, because that's where, and especially during election year, I don't like to play it safe. That's when you really get to see what side of the fence or whatever people are on, because that's when the true colors and what the true nature of people when they come out. And so I'm all for that, because it's about transparency, right? It's supposed to be all about accountability. So yeah, fire away the tough questions, and if you've been doing your job and you've been doing your homework, no question is too hard. Because if you're involved with this community and you're of the people and the voice of the people in the community, what question can you not answer? I mean, that's how I look at it. But all the more reason why we need new people to get in, our younger generation, and what I'm so excited about is the statistics says our millennials and our generation X, Y's, and Z's and whatever alphabet everybody is, are the most environmentally aware generation. And yay, and so they should be, because we've been messing it up forever, and it's time to stop it, and yes, to regenerate, to bring it back to its full glory and health and everything for well into, you know, everyone's future here. So, but personally for Lahaina, my one vision and goal is to move a school that I went to, Crystal went to, Kamehameha Third School, out of the tsunami zone, which has overgrown its place. It is dangerous when the parents go and pick up and drop off the kids. The traffic is horrendous. Kids are, you know, practically getting run over. I mean, it's bombarded with visitors too. So the road is just congested and dangerous at this time. There's no place for the kids to play. The portables are on top of portables. So I want that moved out of, number one, the inundation zone. But number two, that is where the royal compound of the royal kingdom, the royal capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom is part of. And I want to restore all that. We all forget that Lahaina, where Crystal and I are from, was once the royal capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom. We need to restore that. That is our heart and our piko of the Hawaiian people and our kingdom, and that aloha spirit everybody wants to talk about. We need to revive it. And that, so there's a lot of state lands way up by where Lahaina Luna is, and way up where Lahaina and Lahaina Intermediate, the new bypass goes and all that. There's land. They can build and move it there, have more wide open space, build great playgrounds and fields or whatever is needed for the children to better their, you know, better their learning experience and everything. So that's one of my dreams and points that I want to do in Lahaina town itself. And we're going to revive Halepiula and all this very sacred, that still is very sacred and precious, but we need to bring it back to the glory that it once was. And this is going to be not just educational for our future generations and ourselves, but for our visitors too. Yeah, this is going to be an economic driver, but the bottom line is it is perpetuating our culture. It is making sure that we are not wiped off the face of the earth, which our people before wanted to do to us and our language and to our culture and our peoples. So this is one of the main things that I really want to do. And I did have a brief discussion and sort of negotiation opportunity a little bit with the State Department of Transportation, because that new Lahaina bypass, they built it on county roads. County lands, and now they want the county to give it to them. I went, give? No, how's about you buy or we exchange some lands? At least give us back the money we spent on it from the open space fund. And I don't know how you can build a highway on open space land, but it happened. And so I said, give the land that the school is on. We do this trade, this exchange. How's about that? So I'm going to hold them to it. I'm going to continue this dialogue and conversation with them. So, but that's one of the improvements I hope to do, at least for West Maui. But this is going to be beneficial to everybody as a whole. And this is international recognition, not just for the island. That's how I look at it. Efforts, because it's going to take all of us. It's that kako walk. It's the all of us, the we together that make that create our futures for the rest. And so that's why I do it. I'm not in it for money, fame, fortune, or glory, and a title. I'm here because I want the best for all of us, and I believe that's what I bring to the table. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging in there and letting me visit. Thank you.